after a long deployment. The Delta guy's been out in the desert doing, Delta stuff, and he just wants to rack out for a while. But the Air Force colonel, he's on, like, his 8th espresso, and he's feeling chatty. So the colonel says, hey, you want to play a game to pass the time? It's a great game, you'll love it. Here's how it works. I ask you a question. If you can't answer it, you pay me $5. Then you get to ask me a question. If I can't answer it, I pay you $500. The Delta guy sighs and thinks it over. Go ahead, he says. The colonel grins. What's the distance between Earth and Neptune, he says. The Delta operator thinks a minute. Finally, he frowns and reaches into his pocket and hands over $5. The Air Force guy, he grins. He figures he's gonna take this Delta guy for all he's worth. Your turn. The operator looks him in the eye. He says, what goes up a hill on 4 legs but comes down again on 3? Then he lowers his head and he goes back to sleep. The colonel thinks and thinks. He gets out his smartphone and scours the internet for answers, but he can't find it. He calls up his buddies back in Saudi and asks them for help, but they can't find the answer either. Finally, the colonel admits defeat, pulls out $500, wakes up the Delta guy, and hands the money over. The operator pockets the money without a word and closes his eyes again. But the colonel just can't let it go. He wakes the Delta guy up. He says, I gotta know. What goes up a hill on 4 legs but comes down again on 3? The Delta guy stares at the colonel for a second. Then he reaches in his pocket, hands the colonel $5, and goes back to sleep.